7:37, and we have 4 members present. Any public input this evening?
You just say reserve? Wow.
Reserve, both of you? Okay.
Oh, no, if you have any questions for me, or anything I can bring back to our board, if you have any concerns, or you want us to do something.
No, I wish Andy was here more for a scheduling thing. I know, and I think it's been discussed that there were going to be certain nights.
Yeah,
left
I
open
think
for-
Andy
And he's already done that to
scheduled
the
it, yeah.
calendar?
Pete is the guy. Pete, you know Pete Burr?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going to handle the scheduling,
Okay.
even though he's not on the board anymore. He's going to take, because he does it on a computer, and everybody signs up on a computer.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
I
have
think.
his email address.
Yeah, I think Andy did. You know, what I mean, Andy was gonna assign one of the nights. I know that there was like 2 nights open, and Andy was assigning one to pickleball, and I think he did pretty
Right.
much because I came swooping in and asked for the other one for lacrosse. So,
Yeah, we actually got a couple nights this week.
right, this week there's a
good.
few. So yeah,
So, what about you to us? How's the facility? How's the upkeep been?
Great.
Bathrooms, everything all set?
I think we're just really fortunate that you let us have it as much as you do, and everybody kind of feels that way, you know.
Yeah, it seems to. I mean, I figured out the issue I was having with the email, so.
It's nice to hear good news.
It is nice to hear
I
good
guess
news.
the biggest question comes. I mean, we sent out the email last week, 2 weeks ago about insurance coverage. So it's a matter of, I don't know if you have any questions for us based on that.
I don't think I saw that.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't. I don't think I got it.
It went to the pickleball email address. So it's one of those where a month and a half ago, an issue came up with Primex where they basically told us that the previous company hadn't really been covering. They were issuing insurance certificates for use of facilities in town, but they weren't really covering. They weren't technically covered under those other organizations. So we sent out an email that basically said that if you fit certain criteria, if you have your own bank account, if you have your own tax ID number, things in that nature, then you would need to likely start providing your own insurance coverage. If you don't fall into those cases, if you're basically using just town facilities and you're under the rec commission to use those town facilities, and maybe you have a modest bank account, but don't have your own tax ID number, then at some point we're going to have to talk about what it's going to take to stay under the rec commission.
Yep.
And change so you can stay under that insurance policy.
Because you guys are currently under our insurance policy, aren't you?
See, I don't really know that. Pete would probably know
Yeah,
that.
Peter should have received the email.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I remember seeing the dialogue, but I saw it from the other side, from the office side. I think the issue is more about outside organizations coming in, not organizations that are sanctioned by the commission.
No, this is this was a main, like, lacrosse is the one that brought it forth first about needing an insurance certificate to use for outside organization, for basically the state league. We had to get a certificate to provide to the state league to say we had insurance coverage.
For that, I thought, all right.
Right. So Primex came back and said, you can't do, we can't give you that certificate. We don't cover outside of town. So then the next portion of our discussion became, well, if someone's just using the facilities in town, schools or town, and that's all they use, then they pretty much still have really the option of staying under the rec commission, but they would have to probably change where their board is more of a subcommittee of the rec commission, and accounts would have to come in under a revolving fund, under the rec commission, under the town.
But the sport would also have to have a very definitive line of rec sport versus travel sport. So if you have take basketball, for instance, if it's within our town borders, the
Well, yeah,
cover,
well, this is
then travel
this is
becomes
what
a
we're
whole
saying.
separate
We're
entity.
saying, you mean, this is, if you're totally in town, it's not really a big split issue. The question becomes is if you have a travel portion and a rec portion, one portion that stays in town and one that travels, what do you want to do? The problem is, I mean, in that argument is that if you do that, you're two separate entities at that point. You're not one entity anymore. So are you going to be two separate entities? Is that the way you're going to handle it? I mean, lacrosse is purely travel, so we just have to go get an insurance binder and everything. Flag football's up in the air. I was actually, after their email back to us, I was half expecting them to be here tonight, but it's vacation week, so. In basketball would be in the same boat where there's a rec and a travel being run. So there's talk. We have to talk through the cases with each organization depending on what they want to do. I mean, realistically, in my summaries, if you play stuff out of town at all, you should probably just get your own insurance binder for everything and do what you're doing. The opportunity cost of saying, okay, we're going to split everything in half and do separate everything because, I mean, you can't commingle websites, you can't commingle anything. So you'd have to be entirely separate on how you run the leagues. You're basically running as two different leagues. But like pickleball, if they're self-contained in town, and that's it. If flag football, as I said, this is something they need to come in and talk to us about because they're kind of unique where they use town facilities to do practices and such, but they play in a different town. They play in a league in an indoor facility, and that facility provides the insurance for everyone. So they wouldn't need to provide that coverage over there. They already have it through when they sign up. When everyone signs their own waiver to go play, they may be fine staying in town, keeping the rest of it just under us, so they don't have to go and get their own insurance waiver. But every organization is going to be slightly different. So it's one of those things where it's like, if pickleball is everything they do is in town, which I don't think it is. Don't you guys play in Hudson sometimes or whatever? But you probably are under there as well as.
Yeah, I mean, individuals play all over the place.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, there's nothing organized under our group that uses any other facility.
Oh, okay. Then you're probably
Although we do have signups for the outdoor courts.
right, and that's the same thing. That's
Summer.
all
Yeah, it's all
town stuff. So honestly, I'd say bring it back, see if you can get the email from Pete, and talk it over. I have a feeling that you're going to come back and say we want to stay under we're going to stay under the rec commission. What do we have to do to technically stay under the rec commission? Because it was more of the the board or whatever board would become a subcommittee, and those people would have to register as town volunteers. This was by Troy.
Do you know what kind of insurance premiums you
I just
pay?
fired up. This doesn't make
What?
What kind of insurance do you have for talent hall?
For talent, it's just the overall town policy.
Okay.
So I don't know if
So it's liability
right,
damages.
general liability, yeah.
I'm a little confused on what I understood it to be versus what, I think you're right, I just sent a note to Troy saying, can you help me understand why all of a sudden after 20 years we're changing our insurance policy, and why is that?
I was on that call. In short, I was on the call with Primex.
Mm-hmm.
They were basically like, if you read through, there was language in the old stuff. I can't remember who the old one was, but there was like a paragraph like above the signature line, the old one, basically like excluding certain things. And pretty much Primex is saying, well, we're not going to issue a certificate and then exclude everything. We're just going to tell you up front whether you're going to be excluded or not. So
Just what confuses me is the criteria, what's included and what's not.
Okay.
Rec commission sanctioned organizations like pickleball or even basketball, whether travel or not, to me still falls under the commission. They're using our facilities and it's a sanctioned sport within town. It's definitely run by, you can argue that it's a subcommittee, but then you're talking about, mingling funds, and I don't think that has to occur to make that definition.
yeah, let me put it this way. They specifically said if you have your own tax ID number, then you're not part of the town.
And they also said if something happens, like let's say that your kids travel to Bedford If something happens, Primex won't cover them, so then you
That's,
don't
as a
have
parent,
liability.
I've always assumed that was the case anyway, and as a parent, I never thought my kids were covered when they were in town to begin with. You know, I signed off them to play, I take the liability.
No, I mean, but,
Yeah,
you
I know.
that's,
This
that's
is-
you.
This is a whole different society.
Right.
But, you know, to me, it's sort of like the booster clubs, right? In my opinion, you can almost argue that the pickleball organization is a booster club for that sport, and they're raising funds and they're organizing it, but they're not necessarily, you know what I mean? It's like, cause lacrosse started as sort of a booster club, and that's how it began. Now it's a big organization for all the kids, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, I think it was just that the terms weren't clear.
Yeah, you know what I mean, let me put it, when
You were
I
on the
came
call,
out
so
of it,
Yeah,
yeah, when I
wasn't
came out of
there.
it, I had specifically asked, do you need your own tax ID? And it was, yeah. If you had not, if you have your own tax ID, you're pretty much a different entity. And once you were a different entity, you couldn't be covered. So, I mean, even booster clubs probably start accounts and have their
Have
own,
their own tax ID,
Right.
but they try to detect.
so, I mean,
Well, it's, yeah, then Primex doesn't like you if you have your own.
Yeah,
if you file your own
I'm
tax.
sure with the things are just changing. All right. Well, I asked a couple of questions. I'm sure I'll get the same answers.
So have you heard from most of the organizations? I know Flag Football still had some questions.
They were thoroughly confused, I think, because
they
she
were
was.
completely confused.
Yeah, she was very.
So we know that lacrosse is getting their own insurance.
Already has it, yep, done.
Already has it. We already know that softball and baseball have always had their own insurance. I think when we discussed this several
Right.
weeks back, we decided, what were there, 7
Yes.
leagues in town?
Wrestling, I didn't even email because I don't even have an address.
Wrestling is a
to-
school thing. It
Wrestling.
happens in school properties. They don't do wrestling on any of our fields. They don't do wrestling at Talent Hall. I think we can leave them alone, in my opinion, because
Well-
it's a school
They,
thing.
well, no, they are they are
technically-
under
when
us.
They came on
Yeah.
board, they were part of the rec commission.
But see, is Primex also covering our schools? And like, if, I mean,
It-
we don't control the school facilities,
No.
so.
No, we
So,
don't.
does the school assume the liability for them because they're in their school facility
No,
and not no
no,
longer
because
part of us?
we like when we use school facilities, we provide the schools with our insurance coverage.
Exactly.
So wrestling should be coming and asking whomever at town hall for a copy of the insurance certificate so they can present to the schools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so they're still under us.
So does that mean maybe they have their own and we just don't know about it? Perhaps?
Have their own insurance?
Yeah.
No, I think they're under us.
I think they're
Still
still,
covering under us.
yeah, but we'll need to talk to Andy about contact information. For
Right. I mean, I emailed that out. I didn't get an answer. So
So you did have their email address? Or
no,
you
I
didn't have-
emailed to everyone. I needed
That
a
you-
contact address for wrestling.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I never got one.
Missed that one. So pickleball, we don't know about. Wrestling, we don't know about. Basketball,
We don't know about.
we don't know about.
Basketball's in process.
Is in the process.
Are
Okay.
you getting your own? Okay, so you're separating.
So we do have our own tax ID number, right?
You probably
You probably do.
Yeah.
My guess is you
If you had
probably
to
do.
file a return,
Okay,
right.
yeah,
I
so
mean,
have your own
you
number.
charge
Yeah.
fees.
you know, like there's like $4,000 or something like that in the budget or something like that. People pay $1 to play
Right.
and we have to work, the hardest thing is spending the money. 'Cause nobody knows what to spend it on.
We'll take it, baseball.
Yeah.
Softball, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we have donated to the
Yes, I
town.
know. They've been great.
Um,
You guys have been great to us. Thank you.
Need email address. Okay. So pickleball, you'll get back to us. Wrestling, we need the email address. Lacrosse has their own. Basketball's in the process of getting their own. Flag football has questions. Men's basketball, did you have their contact info?
I do not.
Where do they play?
The
Just
schools.
play at LMS. They're one
Yeah.
that.
We did get a couple of emails from one or two individuals way back. I'll check back. I need email.
I'm just wondering if wrestling kind of considers themselves the bottom of the pyramid in terms of going up through the school system. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
they've
they
never
have a
presented
board.
themselves as
I
rec.
mean, they have a board. They probably have bylaws. They have everything
Yeah, that's true.
that everyone else has. Every other league in town. I'm assuming they must
They,
have.
they came to rec and requested to be
Yes.
part of rec. So
Okay, all right. So they are. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
that was
Way back.
in process before. Well, they were in process before lacrosse. and then
Yeah,
we just
they're
kinda came
several
in
years,
and,
several years old at
came
this
in, just
point.
handed everything and walked out.
I mean, the only guy I know in wrestling is Pat Algeo. He's like a coach, but I don't know if he runs it.
Okay. So, do we need to, with lacrosse and everyone that is getting their own, what was the discussion? Were we gonna keep anything on file, or they're just responsible for renewing it on their basis?
So lacrosse sent us their insurance binder.
Okay,
I asked the other leagues to send the insurance binders to us.
okay,
Email. Because we talked about this, we need to start keeping, we really as a town, if organizations are coming in with their own insurance coverage and they're not under the towns, then we need to get a copy. We should have on file a copy of the binders.
So I have Scott Taylor.
Just like the
Scott
school,
Taylor.
just like the school does with even town organizations doing it. We should, the town, or at least us or the town, should have a copy of,
Well, ultimately,
Those for them.
the town ultimately should, so.
Right.
whether you
So we
guys-
should
whether the
vote
rec
on-
commission keeps a copy of them in your email files, whatever.
right.
Those should be printed and put into the town office, and they have all the other binders that are in there for other contractors and so on, so it should be that much of a pain that, you know.
so we
Right.
need to, so for myself, I'd have to get for softball, you'd have to.
I printed up our copies. I just have them sitting on my
Okay.
desk. I got to
So
bring
we have
them in.
Scott Taylor from lacrosse,
Right.
and I guess we just put a
My
request.
suggestion is the rec commission keep a list of the organizations that are requiring the insurance, so that they
Yeah.
have a checklist in the office to make sure, and they can also probably help chase it down, and I'll talk to Troy tomorrow about it too, because like I said, the insurance question itself is a little confusing, so.
Okay.
Any idea what it would cost?
It's all over the place. I mean, insurance.
I mean,
is
I think
like-
it all depends on, it all depends on what you're covering. You know what I mean? And what you need to cover. Like for lacrosse, we got a general liability, coverage for like $1 million, I think it was. And on top of it, and that was for the kids and that was for the board. The coaches are handled through U.S. Lacrosse. They're automatically covered insurance-wise through U.S. Lacrosse, so we didn't have to go and spend extra to get them insured.
Don't the kids, we don't require your kids to belong to US Lacrosse, because I know in high school they do, so.
We can, if we put them through U.S. Lacrosse, then U.S. Lacrosse could have provided our
Right.
coverage. Except that we found the insurance basically worked out to be about $10 a kid for everything, versus U.S. Lacrosse is $35 a kid.
35's a kid, yeah.
So, I think it's about $1,000 that we're paying for the year. I don't know what the requirements would be, because you know what I mean. You're talking about different sports, different things, different areas. Like how dangerous is it? How not dangerous is it? Just whatever it is. So, I mean, I'm not sure what it would be for pickleball.
Does the you're part of the pickleball association, the U.S. Pickleball Association, right? USPA.
I think so.
I wonder if they offer you. I mean, I can't imagine their insurance would be that.
Right. You mean they
It
could
can't be too much
yeah.
money.
I always think it more in terms of that town's liability if somebody, runs into the wall or whatever.
I think it's for talent. I think isn't it like $1 million or something, like the general.
That's my understanding, yep, it's $1 million.
And
Yes.
I forgot to ask, what about soccer? Soccer has their own,
Yeah.
and they already, it's on
I've-
file?
It's no, not here. I gotta
Okay.
get it. I gotta
So-
get a copy. Or I'm waiting. Let me put it this way. I'm waiting for a copy.
Okay. All right, so baseball, softball, and soccer, they all have their own, but we all need to get copies to the town.
I think I pay. Baseball pays $30 a kid for liability. God knows why. It's expensive.
Yeah, Colin, I would, like I said, make a list of what organizations provide that to the town, and with whatever copies you have, and then we can help going forward, I would think, so. And I'll confirm that tomorrow with Troy, but
Okay.
at the end of the day, we have the file space, we should be able to do it, and,
Correct.
the HR and finance department keeps track of most of that for everybody else, so I don't think it'd be an issue.
All right. And I'm very sorry. What was your name again?
Gary.
Gary. Thank you.
Do you need my last name too? Or?
we do need that, right? We should take
FITS,
Fits.
FITC.
FITZ?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, Gary, so if you just want to check with Peter and,
Yeah, well, yeah, and you know, he's not the president anymore, but I'm sure he'd know, or John Poulos, maybe.
okay.
'Cause
Very
he's
good.
on all kinds of boards here, I guess, right, John?
Poulos, yeah, he was a trustee for a long time. I think he may
Right,
still be,
right.
actually.
Yeah, he's still on the pickleball board, but he's dropping out soon. We have another Litchfield person that's gonna join the board.
Right. Thank you. There's really nothing on the agenda this week.
Yeah, no, the only other thing was that request we got to use the fields by the men's league.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, soccer, yeah.
We need to take a vote on that, don't we?
I didn't respond, but
Yeah, we probably should have had him here. But we were gonna decide on a vote, and I think, I mean, we have 4 of us here. I mean, I think the discussion was pretty much, it's gonna be very difficult to manage.
well,
Something like that.
so there's a couple factors. One, we really don't have field availability on Sunday mornings anyway, so it's not even a question. So besides the other questions, we don't have the time they're looking for to use Sawmill as it
Sorry,
is.
trying to find his email.
But B, the second
Couple
question
weeks
comes
ago.
down to is, you know, something, they need their own insurance coverage. They need their own, as John said, we don't have a policy of loaning out our fields or renting out our fields that aren't based in Litchfield. You know what I mean? It's one of those where, you know what I mean, again, my main argument, there's 2 main arguments. One, we don't have the time. We don't have the time they shouldn't use it. But 2, none of those organizations will provide back maintenance. And whatever monies we collect wouldn't make up for the maintenance of those fields after you have a men's team tearing through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, as I said, I heard after this request came in, I was talking to someone. They're like, "Oh, I heard Londonderry's going to be looking for." There's a team based out of Londonderry that Londonderry's kicking off of there. So, I mean, they suppose he's like, someone had told me that they were going to come ask us to use it too. So now you're like, should we really be loaning out our fields to men's leagues or things like that?
Well, not when we don't have the availability. Now, if it was a time slot, Friday night, I mean, that no one's occupying it, much like pickleball, if there's no one using it, and then charge them a fee because, yeah, the wear and tear that would incur. But I'm with you. There's just no Sunday mornings completed by noon.
Yeah, lacrosse is there. Lacrosse is there on
Big
Sunday
chunk of
mornings.
time.
That's what it is. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, what I mean, as I said, you don't get a schedule for that until 3/4 way through May and not May, March, and they're looking for. I'm sure they're looking to schedule now.
Yeah, looking for April
So
2nd.
I mean, even if we come up with a number, $100 every Sunday, I just don't feel like it's enough money to cover the
Oh, no.
potential damage that,
Right.
adult people are gonna do, I don't know how much you charge, but I mean, 100, 200, 300, it just doesn't seem like it's a number that works. I mean, if we have to fix the fields because of them, it's gonna hurt our kids' programs more than anything, so.
Any of, oh, no.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially if it's unavailable. The cost is
It's,
irrelevant, but
yeah, the time.
So we need to vote on it then.
I would just.
Well, I think we wanted to have something in place so when we are contacted, much like the use of town hall, we've come down and said, okay, the policy from the rec commission for the use of town hall is no outside parties. I mean, no, it can be leagues.
Within town, yes.
Yeah, we can have fundraisers for the leagues, but we haven't allowed birthday parties, anniversary parties, just personal use. We have not allowed that type of,
We actually have. At Sawmill, you have a workout group that goes there that.
no, at birthday parties at
No, I
town.
understand that, but we were talking about Sawmill earlier. I'm just saying, if we're gonna deny the Sawmill usage for the adult, It's based on availability only. I mean, if they came in a year that we were, timeframe we didn't need it,
Right.
how did say no to them?
I mean, my only other problem is I think there was maybe one resident
Yeah.
who.
Right.
who
You
was-
stated that, there was
Who
only
was,
one.
maybe,
Yeah.
there was one resident on the team and everyone else was a non-resident.
Right.
So, I mean, that's really, I mean, that's the other crux is like, because I know that in the past, there have been, like, I know that World Cup Soccer at one point came to soccer and said, can we use the fields for tryouts? And soccer's like, well, you gotta go ask the rec commission. Basically we just pushed them off and they never showed up at the rec commission. But, like, they're attractive fields, let's put it that way. So there could be more requests
Yep.
at some point. I mean, I don't know if this is a subject, the broader subject of what restrictions we put on fields in town fields, is something we have when there's more people here and we can have a broader discussion about it. I mean, right now we can have a vote where we say they can't use the field because it's not available at that time. And that solves this
This issue, right?
request. So,
Have the Greater Commission decide what they want to do from a field perspective.
Okay. So, no vote, we'll just handle on a case-by-case basis?
Until the commission makes a policy around it, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hang our hat on the fact that we just don't have time to give them right now,
Right.
so that's our answer.
okay.
And, yeah, I know we have had, workout people using it. But it's in a small space.
And
Doesn't-
we had the time for them.
And has, the
Right.
fields can accommodate them at that given time. I don't think they,
Right. I mean, if I can't remember his name, if he was still here for the spring, I know I was gonna reach out to him because
I guess he's moved. So
he's
not even-
moved. So,
yeah.
but like what I was gonna say is, like, if he was here still, I was gonna reach out to him and say, I understand you're at the fields and stuff, but you have to go to this area of the field.
Right.
Because last year, you'd always set up right at the parking lot and everything. And you know something, at certain points it was okay because we weren't using everything to the max. But, like, there were definitely going to be days this year where that field was going to be packed and, like, he can't be in that corner. He couldn't be in that near corner anymore.
Right.
Even though he likes setting up there. It's like, this is the playing soccer down there. You got to move. You can't be on there anymore. But, I mean, that's...
Well, if it happens again, you'll
Right,
know where
oh,
to move them to. Nothing has to be done about Sawmill, John? That's being handled separately?
It's being addressed through the police department, and it's an aversion program, so you will hear from the people. at
We
some
won't or
point.
will?
You may actually hear from a coordination. The ask was fix what happened, and then they'll be there during cleanup day of the field.
Right.
That's the two asks. I haven't heard the outcome yet, but that's the asks.
Yeah, and I know that Kevin had sent it around. I know that you had said it about the snowmobiling that was on the field. Yeah, you can see where it came through.
Oh, they tracked through
They're
it,
a little
yeah.
bit. They aren't deep tracks, whatever, but you can see where there was some snowmobile usage on that field.
Yeah, and how to,
Although we had a lot of snow, the ground really never froze hard either, so.
And they were doing it early in the season, like when we get that first 4 inches in December. They were out there, ripping around the field and it's just.
I guess that little barrier fence doesn't stop anybody. Huh?
Not when
right,
the snow gets over it. And honestly, not that chain at the far end doesn't stop.
Oh, I know, yeah.
I mean, that thing, honestly, it's not high enough, but I don't even know if it's locked half the time. I mean, I go through there every once in a while and it's never locked and I lock the thing, but.
Are there signs? Is it posted?
I think Kevin said it was, but I'm not 100% sure.
There is,
Yeah.
I don't know what's on, I can't remember what's on the sign.
Yeah, I don't,
I don't think there's any sign that says no,
snowmobile riding.
yeah, no,
Right.
no power.
Well,
Recreational
actually,
vehicles.
and maybe that's something we
Yeah.
should do, is put no motorized vehicles, period, and just have it posted this way it can be enforced if it's not. Because it's always a challenge, right? If it's not posted, logic will go somewhere, but
Right.
we can't.
There was one thing that just came to mind. Did we have, and I wish Kevin was here, at Dara, when you walk down the road, when you're going to the back of the building, there's always that huge puddle. Did we put, or did Kevin ever put a drainage system in there?
Kevin Lynch?
Well, not Kevin, but did he ever oversee or get, I thought there was discussion about a
On the
drain
road?
being put.
I don't
On the
recall
road
anything
there?
on the road, no.
So, you,
Yeah,
So-
where the road
you-
starts to go around town?
yes.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, we've had a little bit of drying weather and the rain and everything, but for what, a 2-week period, if you guys
I've been walking
frequent
through
it,
there a lot.
yeah, the puddle is crazy. You get the little ones walking through, and
It's been that way as long as I've been around. So.
well, that's what we've talked about getting a drainage done. I haven't seen Kevin in a long time. He hasn't been to any of these meetings.
Well,
Is it
there's no money in your budget for it, so if it's been discussed in the past, I haven't seen any funding put in for it.
Okay.
But at some point in time, someone's gotta fund it, and I know Kevin hasn't put it in the budget either.
All right, I'll ask him next time.
Maybe he was hoping it was a deterrent for the cars to keep going, dropping kids off.
Yeah. A deter? No, it's more like that's
No, we'll
why
go through
people
it
will
faster.
drive around because they're like, I'm not going to send my kid through a puddle.
I'll see Kevin tomorrow and ask him.
Just out of curiosity, I thought there was something that was actually going to be done about it, or had been done, and I'm just wondering maybe if it got clogged up.
I don't recall
You can
it.
usually get around it, like go around either side, but it is there.
It's there, and it's something that's been there for a while, and it
Put a
just I
drywall
thought it
right
was.
there, let it all just run into because it's kind of locked in with asphalt. You can't really go anywhere with it if you build a drain,
I
so.
was gonna say, if Kevin's talking about, maybe he's talking about regrading it to get it away.
The biggest problem is when they plow.
Yep.
The snow's all up in the side. So then when the water comes in,
It gets all trapped.
it gets there and it gets
Sits
trapped
there,
by the
yeah.
snow, so it doesn't go anywhere. So it just builds a big puddle.
Yeah.
Not much we can do
If
about
you see
that, unfortunately.
But it had a nice ice skating rink in the parking lot earlier this year.
Yes,
Oh
I
yes,
saw that. That
yes,
was
I was
great.
there for that. That was
looked
fun.
good.
I almost
Didn't
took a header on
car
that
got
one.
stuck in there this past 2 weekends ago too, I think.
Did it?
I had to push somebody off of a patch of
Well, I think it got stuck in the wind, it melted at the water of the pile, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if they
It was
fell
I.
through
It was a
or-
rink. That's for sure.
Yeah, somebody couldn't even get going. The tires were spinning. All I did was go over and lean into it a little bit and just
Yeah, just give it a
kind
little-
of give
give it a little bit of
momentum.
push.
Yeah.
Has that ever been brought up as a possibility, or to have a town ice skating rink?
Oh, ice skating rink? There was an ice skating rink that was there,
For a
We've
couple
had,
of
it,
years.
we've had it 3 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keith Buxton
Yeah.
from the Rec Commission, he'd go out there, but it's volunteer.
Yeah.
The equipment, I think, is still there.
Where was it?
It's moved around a couple times, but the last year it was in front of in Dara, in front of the snack shack over there,
Oh, okay.
or in front of the
That's right.
pavilion.
Yeah.
On the grass in front of the
On
pavilion.
the grass in front
yeah.
of the pavilion. So it's been there. It used to be on the basketball courts for a couple years. I think maybe it's been in existence for 4 years. We had, as long as the Winterfest, I think it
Right.
ran 4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So this is the first year in 4 years that it didn't get installed, but
Oh, okay.
it's done on a volunteer basis. And
Everything's done on a volunteer
Yeah.
basis.
Does the fire department come and hold?
they
Yeah,
do.
they do.
They come and they fill it.
Yeah.
And it's
That's-
great. I mean, it's great until you have really warm days and then rain or
Snow.
snow on top of
Snow.
the really warm days, and then it gets all chippy and it's hard to manage. I give them credit for anyone all the guys that have gone out there and tried to.
I know that's the least favorite thing the fire department does is fill our skating rink because it's just problematic for them. Just because they they're out there in the cold filling it and
Yeah, they never complained.
no.
They came, they did it, but we've had it. So, anything else, guys? No?
No.
So we reconvene in 2 weeks. That is,
March
talking.
13th? No, 14th.
March 14th?
14th.
Want to give a plug to the
Yeah.
fundraiser before we could close up?
Fundraiser, yes. Comedy night.
Yep.
March 14th.
No, 18th.
18th, I'm sorry. Election night's March 14th. Another
March
big day.
18th. from
March 18th, Saturday night.
6 to 8 is the guys.
Yep, is vinyl night, and Pete and Jay are
Yep.
doing vinyl. And then 8 o'clock, we got 2 comedians going to be going on, probably till about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And there'll be raffles and, 50-50 and things like that going on. So
Great.
bring your own food, bring your own booze. The tickets are available. Terry Briand has a bunch of them at the town clerk's office. I I have some, Andy Collins has
How
some.
much are the tickets?
They're $20 each, and they are selling fast, so.
You can reserve tables.
Yep, yeah, we can, you know, if you,
What's the capacity?
220, I believe.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. We printed up 200 tickets, so.
What do you have, will you bring in the chairs, or are they already there?
They're in the shed next to the, by the side door.
Yep.
There's that shed, everything's in that shed.
Tables and,
Yep,
yeah.
yeah, we set up like 25 tables or so with the, raffle items and stuff.
Yeah, I went to one there like 15 years ago.
All right.
It's always a fun time.
Yeah, it's good. It was really good last time. How you doing with the raffle baskets?
I'm still looking,
You need any?
yeah.
Okay.
No,
You know
you're right,
that
okay,
an
thanks.
announcement got sent out to all the pickleball members.
Oh, did you? Okay, cool,
Yeah,
thanks.
today.
Okay, all right.
There was a little confusion about the date.
I have tickets if anybody wants to buy them.
I will get.
I carry them around with
I'm
me.
gonna see if I can get a table.
Okay, cool,
So is
thanks.
that 8 or 10?
That's 10.
10. Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you get 8 people, that'll work too, you know. Just let me know and I'll make sure that
Yep.
we put your name on it.
And I will get you a basket. Has anyone taken the lottery ticket one?
Nope.
Okay, put me down for that one.
Okay, cool, thanks.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, because I get a wine basket, so that'll,
You got a wine one?
yeah, somebody's doing a wine basket, so that's good.
Yeah, I would either do that or I could do, either a beer basket or
But the lottery will be good too.
Lottery?
That
I'll
was-
just stick with
that
the
was a big
lottery.
hit. Okay,
I'll do that.
thanks.
Okay. All set, guys? So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.